Wow, your ugly face even uglier. I'm getting embarrassed just looking at you. You should keep your face covered.
Yeah,
That's right. That look better. In the first place, it's her who turned my face like this. She got so worked up, of all things, and threw a plate at me. These people have finally crossed a line they shouldn't have. I've never regretted anything, as much as living with my husband's mother, Barbara. I had no intention of letting my husband or Barbara dictate me. This is a clear case of assault, you know. I filed a report of it. What? They never thought I'd take such action. Reporting to the police was just a part of my revenge plan. I am Hannah, a stay-at-home wife. I turned 34 recently. I think I've led a rather ordinary life after marrying my husband, Jace, 3 years ago. After getting married, we ended up living with his parents, but my relationship with Barbara wasn't bad even since before we got married. The reason for me moving to their house was her. Jace's father was always busy with work, traveling around the world, and he comes back home only a few times a year. Because of that, Jace was worried about his mother being alone at home and suggested to move into their house. Once we get married, let's live with my parents. Huh? Live with them?
yeah,
I'm worried about them, and having you around would be good company for them, right? Well, I guess, but it might be a bit challenging at first, but my mom is kind-hearted. I understand that, but if anything comes up, I will support you. I took his words at face value and agreed. For the first 6 months after we started living together, there were no issues. I think we even got along better than before we got married. However, Barbara suddenly underwent a complete personality change, and her attitude towards me became so harsh. Today, we have an important visitor coming, so could you keep yourself occupied outside until evening? Huh? Oh, sure. You don't like this idea? It's not that. I was just a bit surprised, because it was all of sudden, that's all. They'll be here soon, so please leave early. Her cold attitude became the norm, and she started meddling in everything, from household chores and meals, to my personal life. Just the thought of this continuing indefinitely made me physically ill. So, I wanted to subtly discuss this situation with Jace, and see if anything could be done, but do you think your mother's behavior has changed recently? I don't think it's any different from before. Is something wrong? Well, nothing is wrong. Well, if it's nothing serious, she's okay. I wish I could have been more direct, but I didn't want to criticize his own mother. My timid personality also worked against me. A few days later, I realized that talking to my husband about this was a mistake. I was busy with cleaning and laundry when Barbara called me into the living room. As I headed there, I noticed she was sitting there with an unhappy expression. I nervously asked, "Is there something wrong?" She responded, "You know what I am talking about, Hannah. You've been saying something unnecessary about me to Jace." I didn't say. As I was about to deny it, I realized something. How did she know about this conversation? There was no one else present at the time except my husband and me. That led me to believe that Jace had betrayed me to his mother. And it didn't stop there. The more I listened to her, the more my suspicions towards Jace deepened. "I heard that. I've been bullying you." "What's that about? Can you explain?" "I didn't say anything like that. I was just asking if there was anything different about you recently. Isn't it strange to even ask such a thing? I just thought you've been more active and proactive than before." "Well, whatever. From now on, there's no point in telling Jace anything. Oh, and please prepare dinner soon. I never expected that Jace would twist the story and share it with her. All my careful consideration had been in vain. After this, I thought I couldn't trust anyone anymore. Even Jace, whom I thought would be on my side, has become a source of stress for me. Barbara's harassment began to intensify even more after this. I felt that reacting to her actions and words would only make things more difficult. I would respond her, but mostly pushed her aside. My attitude seemed to rub her the wrong way, but that alone was manageable. However, she also started commenting on my appearance. I always thought you were on the larger side, but have you gained weight again? Honestly, it's so embarrassing. You'll become the neighborhood's laughingstock. Just because you're a stay-at-home wife doesn't mean you should let yourself go too much. Are you taking care of your skin properly? Even I take care of my beauty, and a young lady like you should be even more diligent. I can understand what she is saying to some extent. After getting married, I actually gained more than 20 pounds, and my once well-maintained skin now only gets attention every few days. However, there are legitimate reasons for this. The stress of living with her caused the weight gain, and as for skincare, the daily household chores keep me too busy to focus on it. If she had helped even a bit with the household tasks, all might not have gotten this bad. But it's futile to expect her to do something for me. In the first place, I simply don't have money for it. Perhaps being a stay-at-home wife is part of the issue, but Jace only provides me with the bare minimum of money. With all of this, my days felt like I was just a household servant. Excuse me. Can you help me for a moment? Huh? You can't even cook by yourself? I'm sorry. It seems we've run out of salt, so I'd like to go to a store to buy some. Well, then. Leave it to me. Make it quick. I'll be back right away. Just watch the pot, please. Sure. When I returned, she was laughing and talking with Jace, who was already home from work. I told you to watch the pot. I'm back. You're late, and you're all sweaty.
Ha!
Barbara, what about the pot? Oh, that's fine. I was keeping an eye on it. Upon returning to the kitchen, I found that the pot was off and the food was unfinished. I hurriedly finished preparing the meal. Then the three of us sat down to eat, but... Something's off with this soup. It tastes different, doesn't it? Well, that's true. How could it turn out this bad? I also took a spoonful of the soup, and it was indeed strange. It was overly salty, and for some reason, it had a bitter, sour taste. To put it bluntly, it was awful. But I don't remember seasoning it like this. I can't believe you can't even cook properly. I don't need a daughter who can't cook properly. With that one comment from her, everything I had been holding back suddenly overflowed. I didn't season it like this. Did you do something while I was away? Why would you say something like that? Because it doesn't make sense otherwise. Well, Hannah, calm down. Everyone makes mistakes. What? Are you trying to say it's my fault? Stop taking it out on Jace. You are causing all of this, Barbara. Upon hearing my words, her tone became intense as well. A young prick like you have no place to speak. I wouldn't talk to you if I didn't have to. Shut up, this. In the next moment, Barbara grabbed a plate that was in front of her and hurled it towards me. I couldn't do anything, till the white plate came flying. It felt like slow motion, and the only thing I could was to watch it. Then, with intense pain, I collapsed right there. I writhed in pain on the ground, covering my mouth with my hand, overwhelmed by the sheer agony. Barbara and Jace then said something unbelievable to me. Isn't this a bit too dramatic?
Yeah.
Seriously. It's not that serious of an injury. I can't believe this. I thought that, but couldn't put it into words. There was a lot of blood, and I felt it was serious, so I decided to call a taxi to the hospital, ignoring the two of them. Yet, they didn't even consider coming with me. They even told me that I am overreacting by thinking going to a hospital for this. I received treatment at the hospital, and to my dismay, a part of my front tooth was broken. The doctor said it needed reshaping or extraction, and a replacement with a denture. I was devastated. All because of Barbara's outburst, I had to bear an injury that can't be fully restored. And Jace, too. He showed no intention of helping me, despite witnessing my injury right in front of him. Furthermore, he laughed alongside Barbara. I returned to a home that I didn't even want to be in. You are back. So, how was it? Barbara asked, like a child, eagerly awaiting the start of something fun. It's like this. You were originally not that attractive, but now you're even less so. Isn't it your fault that I ended up like this? It's your fault for not avoiding it properly. You're really clumsy. Mom's right. Your face is so embarrassing. Just keep wearing that cover. You treat me like that too, Jace. I get it. I picked my phone and started a call. What do you get? And who are you calling? What your mother did to me is a serious crime, so I called 911 for assault. What? Are you serious? Are you joking? I'm not joking at all. They might be here in a little while. Are you guys fine wandering around here? You actually called the police. You. Jace raised his hand towards me, but perhaps realizing it was a bad move, Barbara stepped in. Jace. Stop it. This is no time for that. Come on, saying that won't. Just get ready. We're leaving the house for now. Are you running away? Running away? We're not doing that. It would be troublesome if the police showed up now. With those words, they left the house with minimal belongings. They left their own home. Where are they going? A few minutes after they left, the police arrived, and I explained what happened. They asked where they had gone, but I had no way of knowing. They hadn't even apologized to me. I don't have to conceal the fact that they ran away. The police decided to leave for now, saying that I should call them when they return. They also suggested me to consult with a lawyer. For now, let's do what I can. And I decided to prepare for anything that might happen. I decided to find a trustworthy lawyer and seek advice. Reporting to the police alone is not enough. At this point, I wanted to claim whatever I could from this parent-child duo, starting with compensation. The very next day, I started looking for a lawyer who seemed trustworthy. I found one who appeared to be skilled in civil cases on the internet, and decided to consult with him. When I actually spoke with the lawyer, even an experienced attorney seemed taken aback by the situation. He was confident that, given the circumstances, I should be able to claim substantial compensation. This indeed dealt a blow to Barbara and Jace. I maintained close contact with the police, waiting for the return of the two. I believe it was 4 days after they had left. In the middle of the night, they returned. Upon coming back, Jace immediately asked, "Did the police come? They're not usually here at this hour, right?" "At the moment, they're not." "Well, that's a relief. I need to contact Mom quickly." "Your mother didn't come with you?" There's no way she would. I just came to check if it's safe. Later, after Jace contacted to Barbara, she came back home as well. Because you did something that you didn't need to. You don't understand how much. I don't care. How you can be so dramatic to even call the police. The insults from Barbara and Jace seemed endless. As I wondered how long they would keep yelling at me like this, I heard the doorbell ring. What could it possibly be at this hour? It's okay. I'll go check. Jace didn't return for a while, and from the direction of the front door, I heard voices suggesting some dispute. Then, 2 men entered the living room. Hey, who are you? You can't enter my house without permission. Mom. These people are the police. What? That's right. I had contacted the police when Jace has returned. I couldn't let this opportunity slip away. Well then, please take it from here. I knew it was you. If you have excuses, save them for the police station. And so, the 2 were taken away by the police, to the police station. I didn't know how things would turn out, but I hoped they would reflect on their actions. After they were taken away, I decided to go to my parents' home, to clear my thoughts. Although I had decided not to speak about this, until the situation was clearer, I felt that I should talk to them now. My parents fully supported me, after hearing my story. They advised me to divorce him after what I went through. Thanks to them, I was able to make up my mind to split with my husband. I spent a few weeks at my parents' place, relaxed, but then I received an update from the police. Barbara was being charged as the perpetrator, and Jace as an accomplice. It appeared they are likely to receive a suspended sentence. With this, I had the perfect reason to divorce. Living with people with criminal records was clearly not an option. Realizing this, I decided to prepare the divorce papers the very next day. All that was left was for Jace to sign. I couldn't wait any longer. I immediately contacted him. Meeting at their house was out of the question. We agreed to meet at a cafe, close to my parents' place. I called you here today because I have something to discuss. Discuss what? Everything was settled the other day, right? Nothing has been settled yet. We still have to talk about the divorce. Divorce? I never agreed to that. What's that about? War's that about? Do you understand? Nothing? I can't live with someone with a criminal record. It's just common sense. Don't mess me up. It seems he didn't like what I was saying, as he raised his hand again. If you want to hit me, go ahead. But I think this time you might receive a prison sentence. You're just bluffing. If that's what you believe, then go ahead. Seeing his desperate attitude at that moment, I couldn't help but almost burst into laughter. To prevent myself from laughing uncontrollably, I quickly handed him the divorce papers. My name is already on the papers. Hurry up and sign. I want to submit it soon. Give me a moment to think. I'm sorry, but that's not possible. I can't stay with someone who might hit me. Are you serious? Of course. If you don't sign the divorce papers, I might consult a lawyer again. All right, fine. And with that, he signed the documents. I headed straight to the family court. I felt relieved, knowing I would no longer have to deal with that family. However, my sense of relief was short-lived. I received a call from Jace, now my ex-husband. My dad is home, and he says he needs to talk to you. Please come to our house this weekend. Huh? I don't see how that's my concern. Just come. I'm begging you to come here this weekend. The conversation ended before I could refuse. I knew it might become troublesome, but I thought it might be better to go back and get it over with. When I arrived at their house, 3 of them were waiting, and the atmosphere was heavy. Nice to see you again, Hannah. I've heard most of the story from the 2 of them. It's great to see you too. Dad, skip the greetings, and tell her what she should hear. Shut your mouth. The expression on Jace's father's face towards him wasn't that of a father speaking to his son. Don't say that. This woman repaid our kindness with betrayal. Well, this situation has made me realize something. We can't go on like this. Hannah, it's over for you. You should pay us compensation for what you have done to us. Are you misunderstanding something? Jace and Hannah are already divorced. What are you trying to do with Hannah? Huh? What are you talking about? Don't you understand? It means that I can't deal with you and Jace anymore. I had come home after a long time, and then this happened. That doesn't make sense. That's right. Why are you taking Hannah's side? If you don't get it, then it's impossible to fix our relationship. Afterward, Barbara and Jace continued to make excuses to him. He seemed to have got tired of their stubbornness because he started leaving the house. Anyway, I intend to sever ties with you too. I'm going to stay in a hotel. I'll contact you later, so do as you please. Then, I'll head home. I'm truly sorry, Hannah. I want to apologize on behalf of the 2 of them. I've already moved on, so it's okay. Oh, and I think you will receive the official request for compensation soon. Make sure to pay. And with that, Jace's father and I left the house. Barbara, abandoned by her husband, and Jace, abandoned by his father, appeared stunned, almost as if they were in another world. I had no sympathy for them, and this might have been the ultimate revenge. In the end, Barbara and Jace were also expelled from the house. They seemed to have moved to an old apartment nearby. Barbara and her husband divorced as well. She had to start working, since she couldn't rely on anyone anymore. Jace was fired by his company after they learned about his legal troubles with me. According to Jace's father, even after they moved, the rumor has spread among the neighbors that criminals live in that apartment, causing them to be ostracized. We're sorry for everything. Can you please remove the alimony order? I lost my job too. It's tough for me now. Can we discuss reducing the compensation? Occasionally, I received nonsense messages from Barbara and Jace. Of course, I ignored them and didn't reply. They sowed the seeds of their own actions. They would have to live with the weight of the sins they had committed. For me, this was the most refreshing experience I had ever had. I decided to return to my parents' house and start my life anew. I will get alimony from them, too. I might indulge in hobbies I couldn't pursue as a busy housewife. The future looked bright and full of happiness.